This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, coral-auctions.co.uk and reef.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome to, I think, the Prestige Reef Dork Show. Although my, I've got it loaded up, and it says live in 49 minutes. But we are live, so I don't know what's happened there.
You sure? I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk for 49 minutes.
Don't waste any gold, Ryan. Yeah, exactly. No, all good. Hello, everybody. Right. Well, today we're going to be talking about bad photography in corals, in coral sales, i.e., vendors who deliberately make corals look way better than they do. So we'll talk about that. We've got a fish of the week, which is a very good fish of the week. We've got a coral of the week, which is as yet unspecified. We've got reef keeping news and all the usual stuff, basically. So, Ryan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry. The coral of the week has now been specified. Excellent. So during the jingle, it was decided, and I know that you all like it. So I'm expecting you to vote for me this time.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. You've got a vote to live up to, haven't you? See?
Yeah, and it's important to me that I win. So
I know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who I'm winning against though.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I am good. It's been an interesting couple of days for me with regards to the coral farm. So I should probably just jump straight into it. I went to the wholesaler on Friday, and that's always like a knackering day because I usually go collect all the fish and coral and then go to people's houses and drop them off, and people have a chat with me for like 2 hours sometimes. You know what I mean? When reefers get together, you have a chat for a while.
Yeah.
And then about 9 o'clock at night, I went to the coral farm, and there was just water literally just pissing out of the RO.
RODI,
yeah, the RO booster pump. So it wasn't the RO unit; it was the booster pump for the unit. And what appears to have happened is how they're made. They seem to have like a plastic end and another plastic end, and they meet in the middle with a seam, and that seam has basically burst after many years of abuse. So water wasn't like shooting across the room, but it was like it's mains
pressure.
Water.
Yeah.
It's mains water, basically. Yeah. So it was just like it was like a tap running slowly, just continuously.
Oh, okay. This wasn't spraying into your coral trays or anything.
No. It was literally running down the back of the that room. Luckily, I didn't design it like this. This just happened. This was just luck. There's a false floor below the floor. Which is like a rubber floor, and the water just goes under the rubber and just goes outside the front of the garage door. So I can literally just empty the coral tray onto the floor. I don't ever do this. If I wanted to, I could empty it, and you never know because it just goes under the floor and straight out.
Disappears down the drain. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might smell if I did that with coral water, but with tap water, it didn't matter.
Okay.
So that was on Friday night. So then I started my hunt for a new one because, you know, you have like replacement bits. Everyone goes, oh, you should have a replacement return pump. You should have a replacement. Yeah. No one tells you should have a replacement RO booster pump. And the one that I have is an Echen one, which I believe was a really popular brand not that long ago. It's meant to be one of the best ones. And it was a 200-gallon one, and they have been discontinued. They make 100-gallon, they make 50-gallon, and they make 400-gallon, but they no longer make the 200-gallon one.
It's funny.
So I was calling around fish shops to go, have you got any of these just lying around? Which naturally no one does because, like, it's not something I don't think that people buy every day, I assume, in a fish shop.
No, probably not. And if they do, they'd buy it as a bundle together, or
Yeah,
like Osmotics, or the place, the online specialist will have them in stock, but a shop's
yeah.
not going to have a dozen of them. All
So I have bought a 400-gallon one, which I believe will be fine. This is what I have been told, because they're self-regulating. So supposedly the pressure inside both of them is meant to be the same.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that that will turn up on Tuesday, because at the moment there is a countdown with regards to how much evaporation water I have left in the coral farm. It's quite exciting.
Yeah, exciting / terrifying.
Yeah, so I permanently have, so I have the 400-liter RO reservoir, which I use for my water changes. And unfortunately, I'd just done a water change probably about an hour earlier. So it hadn't been going for long, but that meant I had literally no water. Like, I've got none. So, but each of the tanks also have their own small RO reservoir, which I think is about 100, is either 60 liters or 120. I can't remember which. No, it must be the 60-liter one.
Okay.
And those are now dropping. And there
Yeah.
is a lot of evaporation in that room. So it's basically a race to the finish to see which comes first, whether the RO pump turns up and I can start making water again, or the water completely runs out. But look,
will you just go to your local fish shop or something if you?
So I do have water that's in the other attached to the water box, which is also a 600-liter container. But I don't actually know when I last topped that up, and because it's not something that's urgent at the moment, like I've still got water in the car, but I've not gone to check.
No point checking. No, 5 seconds wasted.
Like,
just leave it till you need it, and the shops are shut.
Yeah, that's true. So look, the worst that happens is I'm sure. Look, if I went, Alex, I need some water from you, and drive an hour to your house, I'd go to a fish shop.
I know how much you need this now.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like £30 a barrel. But
you're welcome to come here and get as much as you want, but I'm guessing shops are closer and they're easier.
Yeah. Like, I mean, look, to be fair, I'd rather have water. Like, I'd rather have water that I know is of top quality.
What's the stuff that comes out of a petrol pump called?
What do you mean? The stuff that comes out of a petrol pump?
The RADI water that comes out of a petrol pump.
Spotless water. Yeah,
Spotless.
Les mentioned it. Yeah.
There you go. There's
I don't know where Spotless water is actually. As in, I don't
they're
know if
all
there's
over
one
the place. There's an outlet. I've only ever seen one in the flesh, and it was just on the side of a road, just like this, like a steel shed full of stuff with a petrol pump on it. So I think they're all over the place. But to be fair, worst case scenario, that would if you had to use that for a day, it's not going to wipe your tank out, is it? Even if it was bad water, which
some people
loads of people
absolutely
use it and swear by it. Exactly. So
yeah, some people swear by it. So
yeah.
Look, I'm sure that whatever happened, I have enough people around me that if I was and everyone's got RO units these days, that if I was desperate, I could just go like Jamie or you or Steve. I know you're listening, Steve. You listen every week. So to be fair,
there's a million options.
Yeah, because this is what's good, having a little community of people. I sent a message to a few people going, have you got an RO pump? And Steve, one of my customers, went, oh yeah, I got a spare one here if you want it. And I just thought, but now that I've bought one, it's like, what's the point of fitting a new one to then get another new one, if you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But that was a little bit of excitement on Friday, which I didn't want to have to deal with because I didn't even know I could turn the main. Like, it was just lucky when the plumber put water into that room. They put a shut-off valve for the mains water, which I didn't know they had done. So I was just following the pipe back up into the ceiling to go, does this stop anywhere?
Oh God!
Because just turning it off wouldn't have done it.
There's one in Shoreham which is near you, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
literally a petrol pump.
Yeah, that's only about probably about half an hour away. So,
there you go.
As I said, it's not actually. It's only an emergency if I can't be bothered to leave my house.
Yeah,
and even if it's only an emergency if I can't be bothered to go look at the 600-liter barrel in the shed, but it's still not ideal. So one of the things that did I was interested. I called shops all over the country, and so few of them answered. Like,
really?
like I was surprised at how few of them.
What day was this?
Saturday morning.
That's got to be one of the busier times.
Yeah, possibly. I reckon it was. So I started calling at 9, or for the shops didn't open until 10. Then I called them back at 10. But I was just surprised because I'm like, I am a customer who wants to buy something, and people weren't answering. So
it's £5 profit here, for God's sake. Pick up the phone.
Yeah, no, I know, I know, and you're right. They probably were busy or doing something. I actually think Finest were doing a live stream at the time because I can't remember how I found it, but I saw they were showing people all their fish. I'm like, can I hear the phone ringing in the background?
Show me your booster pumps.
yeah, true. But yeah, so that's that. So that's just a warning for people, just to check your RO systems. Don't abuse them. Like
I was going to say, checking them is not the issue here. Not failing to check it is not what caused that. You absolutely you rinse that thing. So the warning says don't run for more than 2 hours, and everyone runs it for more than 2 hours. But 3 hours, 4 hours maybe. I run it for as long as I need it, which is probably about the 3 or 4 hour mark.
Me too.
But yours, you need it for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, more or less. So
yes, that is true. Yeah, I wouldn't. I think it's more like to burn the pump out. I think than I was always worried it might cause a fire, but I don't think that's the actual issue here. I think it's more likely to just burn the pump out.
I've always assumed that the pump would just fail. I didn't realize there was a risk of it bursting, because that would be a disaster for me.
But even that, I don't know why that would have. I think it's just constant vibrations. If you think about it, it's constantly vibrating, and it eventually just like the atoms in the seal. Eventually, it didn't like shoot off. It just was like water was just piercing out the sea. Yeah. So I'm being more dramatic than I probably than it probably was.
The only thing I'll say is I've never heard of that happening. I've never heard of a booster pump breaking to the point that it leaks water.
Yeah. No, I know. As I said, the main issue was like if turning the pump off wasn't enough, water was still coming out, and I'm like 9 o'clock at night. What do I do? And I thought, I reckon I could seal that pump with coral glue if I had to. Like just cover the whole thing in coral glue. Just if there was no other option, that's what I was going to do. But coral glue doesn't work.
What if that happened when the day after you left for Australia?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Well, it would have been Chris's problem, wouldn't it? I'm like, sorry, Chris, I'm not interested. I have sealed many leaks with coral glue before, but the problem with coral glue is I think it has to be warm, and it has to be. I don't think it works with fresh water, or maybe unless it's just the heat that makes a difference.
Super glue.
Yeah.
Super glue. I watched a video from Veritasium recently on this, and super glue cures because of water. So it doesn't matter if it's salt water or fresh water.
So because I've always found it to be doesn't work as well with fresh water than it does. Okay. But remember, the fresh waters would be coming out the tap cold, so it's probably the heat of the salt water more than the saltiness. But yeah, I can do fix almost anything with coral glue.
Yeah. I did that. So I decided to upgrade my which was on my last tank, the gate valve, not the gate valve, the Red Sea diaphragm on the Gen 1 tank that was rubbish. I upgraded that for a gate valve, and I decided to do it after work. Terrible idea. Never do it before. Yeah. And I know this as well. Do it at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. What an idiot. And obviously it went wrong. And the only bit that there was a leak on was the bit that came from Red Sea, the replacement tube that I had to get, and it hadn't been silicon properly. But
it was their fault.
It was their fault.
I'll add them to the list.
100%, yeah. But there was a tiny little pinprick hole. Literally, there was just like a drip of water would come out, then another 10 seconds later, a drip of water would come out. So to be fair, I could have just put a jug under and left it, but I put some super glue on it and it stopped almost immediately. But because that was on the outside, there was a chance that the water pressure could push that off. So I had to seal it on the inside with silicon, and that was I didn't have any silicon, and I always have silicon as well. So that was really annoying. But anyway, I did fix it eventually. But
well, I love this story. I've told it many times before. You know the big pipes that come down, your return pump pipes. You know the rigid, thick pipe is like that, isn't it? Yeah. I severed that once, and then
how did you do that?
So it was actually the I had a hose tail, like one of the connections for flexible
Yeah.
tubing, and I tightened it, and I just kept tightening it, and I
Right.
was like, why is this not going? And basically, if I just sheared it off without realizing.
Yeah.
I'm not really a DIY person.
It's easily done. That is.
So and the water again was just like that was literally going everywhere. So all I did is I just put coral glue all over my hand and held it, just grabbed it, and then my hands.
Dad, I'm stuck to the tank.
It was literally like that, but for probably an hour, I just kept doing that and sealing it again and sealing it, until this big wad of glue had built up. And the funny thing was, I left it like that probably for a year, and it was fine.
If it looks stupid but it works, then it's not stupid.
Yeah, it was eventually taken out and replaced.
Good.
But as I said, it literally was probably like a year later.
Yeah.
So, but look, when you got an emergency, you do what you need to do, don't you?
Oh, completely. Yeah, it's just you. But that's like my emergency. I put super glue over it, but I fixed it properly immediately. Your emergency, you fixed it with a fudge, and then you left it for a year.
Well, it was a pretty good fudge then. If it lasted for a year,
it's true. It probably just looked ugly. It probably would have held for a long time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would still be going now. It was. I'm not joking. The glue was probably an inch thick by that point.
Yeah, I bet.
It probably cost me more money in coral glue to fix it than it would have been to just take the pipe out and replace it properly.
Yeah.
What was it? Something came to mind actually. Every so often during these live streams, like little stories come to mind, and they're like little tips for people just for. This is about pipe work. So when I moved the 1,000-liter tank, I didn't know the size of the bulkheads. The bits that go through.
Yep.
And we had to cut them because they'd been glued. But I was a secondhand tank; they'd been glued. So we cut them, and the ones I bought were not the right size. So and it was just lucky. It was like sheer luck that Para Aquatics is 40 minutes away. And I was like, "Have you got this really obscure size bulkhead?" And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry. Oh, no, but it's like tank connector. Sorry."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah." I go, "I'll be down in an hour." If he didn't have them, I would have been screwed because we were moving house.
Oh.
So the tank wouldn't have held water. So because I'm pretty sure there was a leak in the seam of the weir as well, so I really would have been screwed.
Nasty.
So yeah, if that situation comes to you and you're not sure what size tank connectors you get, buy both and then send one back.
The amount of times though I've measured, I've done everything perfectly. I've checked everything, I've measured it, I've looked up the right size, all this sort of stuff. You order online and it comes to me, it doesn't fit.
Yeah,
it's just I hate it. That's what I always try to find a shop. And I take the thing in, like if it's for a return pump, I'll take the return pump in. I'll be like, show me this fits. I hate buying plumbing online because it's always you'll have got inside diameter instead of outside diameter, or they will. I've done it before where it says on their website it's outside diameter, and then when it arrives, it was actually inside diameter. It's like
Also, sometimes it's they're measured in both imperial and metric, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you can also get the wrong ones that way. But yeah, trust me, I had so much spare stuff when I built the coral farm, and I think the pipe work was probably equally, if not more expensive than the tanks. Like there is like more than 100 meters of pipe work in that room. It's a 5-meter room. so the pipe's going backwards and forwards.
Yeah. Lots of valves and unions and all that sort of stuff.
I ordered stuff from the plastic pipe shop so often that I was on like first name terms with the person who owns it basically, and we were trying to work out exactly what was done. He would send me stuff, and I would send it back to him. But we got there in the end. But I spent thousands building when you built the coral farm. If anyone's thinking about doing a coral farm, the pipe work is the one thing that you don't think will cost you a ton of money.
But it does.
Yeah. And to do it properly, it really does, because there's different types of pipework, isn't there?
It's all and at that scale, it's all like XL sizes as well. It's not normal like inch or whatever.
I know some of the things. I think they're like 60. Like they're really. I'm not sure what the size they are, but they're massive. I think they cost like £85 each. And I think I needed 10 of them. I think
there's a grand gone just on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It blew my mind when I was, and it was a very stressful time when I was building the coral farm, to be honest.
No money coming in and a lot of money
Yeah.
going out on pipe.
There definitely was a lot of money going out here.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is the coral farm incident. And I have one other thing that I can update you on. It depends, but sometimes I ramble too much. So are you interested or you're not
Ramble
interested?
away. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
always interested. Yeah.
Right. So I mentioned previously that the water box had dinoflagellates came back. I have a particularly
Oh, yeah.
awful strain in that tank. So they came back. And then I noticed today that they were sort of significantly diminished. I'd been dosing silicates to try to create a diatom bloom. I don't know if that works or not. There's a lot of people say it does work. When Serious Reef spoke about it, they were like, "Yeah, not really sure it works." So I don't know. Is the honest answer. Today I noticed that they looked different. They almost looked like dying, basically, if you see what I mean. Like not dying, but like clumps rather than. And there was no stringy stuff on them. So I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to siphon it out, and I'm going to take a load of rock from 3 different systems, so the 2 coral farms and also from Jamie's tank, and put them in the tank to try to outcompete the diatoms. So and in addition to that, so I basically covered most of the sand, so they're getting no light, and they now have to compete with fresh live rock essentially, which supposedly can cure it. Live rock can cure it supposedly. And my nutrients are high in that tank as well, so they're miles from zero, so that's not going to be causing it. And I also put coral in there as well, so there is now probably about 7 or 8 colonies in there, big colonies. Some of them are small football sized colonies. They won't stay there permanently. I just need to pick the biggest corals I could, and hopefully that will deal with it. I have put most of the rock on 50% of the tank, and then the other 50% is a bit more sparse because I want to know if it works. Because if the 50% that has rock on it has none, and then the other half has some, you go, well, this actually might be working. So I've done that. There is one downside to adding coral, and that is I have finally been able to test which fish will eat coral. So, and there are possibly 3 offenders at the moment.
Not good.
One of them is an absolute definite offender, which is the Moorish idol. The only thing that it's eating is green star polyps. So, but it eats them like it's not eaten in weeks, even though it gets fed 10 times a day. It's one of the fattest fish in there now. And that's not an exaggeration. I literally feed it continuously. So, yeah, I knew the risk. I'm now learning the consequences of knowing the risk. But to be fair, I'm not planning to have green star polyps in there, so I don't particularly care.
No.
And I've got other greens. It's growing on the pipe and everything, so I don't even care the fact he's eating it, if I'm honest.
See, if he eats Xenia, you'd be able to sell him for 1,000, wouldn't you?
Yeah, true. He is a little bit mean, is what I've noticed.
Oh, really?
And I mentioned this last week. Yeah, he's a bit of a bully, I think. With some of the other fish, he originally was bullied by the gem tang. I took the gem tang out, and then he became the bully. So, we'll see. As I said, I'm happy with him, and I don't care if he eats coral, but I can't have him attack it because he did it. To be fair, the hawkfish started it this morning, but the hawkfish went and bit him, and then he pinned the hawkfish up against a rock. The hawkfish was in this cave, and the Moorish idol's nose was basically on it, and I'm like, that was
wow.
He meant business, and I have a feeling that the hawkfish won't do that again. So I don't even know why it decided just to take a chunk out of his the lower fin.
Sometimes you just got to piss someone off, haven't you?
Yeah. So there are 2 other offenders. Which ones would you like to take a guess?
Oh, what angels have you got in your tank again? You've got the multi-bar.
Yes, multi-bar, king eye, regal, copper band.
What corals are they?
So it's the war coral. The war coral appears to be having there's just a couple of little it's not bite marks. It's almost like scrape marks.
Oh, copper band is so copper. In order of how much I reckon one to most likely to least likely. Copper band number one.
You think the copper band's most likely?
Yeah,
I think that's the least likely.
I think I know where this is going. Number 2 would be the multi-bar. Number 3 would be the Regal. I'm right, aren't I?
Well, you think the Regal's the one doing it?
No, I think no,
the Regal
copper band, if not multi-bar, if not Regal. Regal's the least likely.
Okay, so it's not the copper band. And the other two are, it is the Regal potentially, and it is, but it's definitely the multi-bar.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, trust me, I don't care. I'm not getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I put a load of like those real bright orange Recordia, like the Recordia Humas in there today, and I was just like, this tank would look fantastic with just soft corals. Like, because the fish are interesting, and you have a few bright colors, they're really bright orange, and I'm just like, why do I need to turn this into some sort of really hard work like SPS tank? Like, if I can put coral in there and they don't eat them, then it'll be great.
Happy days.
So,
and I've got the same dilemma myself. The multi-bar though, Yorkshire Reefs have got one in their Red Sea Reef for 250 or 300, whatever it's called. I went and saw a couple of, I don't know, a year ago, and it's just such a cool fish. But every now and then, was it the chalice? I think it was one of the chalices that it just has a bit of a chunk off. Yeah. But it's just so cool that it's like, don't care. So worth it.
It's not like it's not like the Moorish idol eating the green cell polyps where it will sit there for 5 minutes taking a chunk. It just sort of like
every now and then.
Every now and again, like pretty rarely. I've only seen it probably twice. I'm not even
convinced. Well, that's their behaviour, isn't it? They're grazers throughout, like a cow throughout the day, aren't they? So,
yeah, true. The thing is, it does do a little tiny bit of damage, and when you know that there's damage there, it's something that bothers you psychologically. It happened with you and the Moorish, I think, where you had corals, and then you said there was something that was affecting them slightly, and you didn't know what it was. And you think it might have been the Moorish, didn't you?
Turned out it was him. I saw him doing it.
And
then as soon as I pulled him out, everything went back to being okay again. Really annoying. But so with your Moorish, he's just going for GSPs at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, that's it.
There was half a dozen corals in that tank he was going for.
Really?
Like I had a fungia he went for, actually. I don't think I mentioned that before. I always say the maize corals and the fabias and the chalices, but I had a fungia he demolished, and that died. So it's like, cheers, mate.
I'm glad you just told me that, because I was about to put one of the massive rainbow fungias that I've got there, like
right.
Good few inches.
This was only small, to be fair. It wasn't like an expensive one, but it was nice, and he went for it. But then I'm not sure it
matters if it's expensive or small. I think he'll just eat them either way.
Matters to me. I'd rather lose a cheap one than an expensive one. But he battered it and buried it, and it got to a point where there was some flesh on it. It was still alive, and I was like, I'll get that later. And then obviously later becomes never. So so you've got 3 fish eating your corals.
Yeah, which I signed up for it. It's not like I didn't sign up for this. So, and this is just the part of the process. The small football-sized Passilloporas look amazing in there. So, like, I'm sure I'll be able to do something with it. But I don't really want to have an all SPS tank. I don't think, just because I don't want the hassle. Even with easy SPS, like like you could spend a year growing a massive ball of Hystrix, and then it could just strip overnight, and then you're like, oh, okay. So, and I know it's still something you have to replace if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I guess so. The Hystrix is pretty good generally.
Yeah.
And Monty's and that is, if you're going for aquos, you're asking for trouble. But Hystrix and Monty's and Pockies and Stylos should be all right.
Yeah. We'll see. I might just try and.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and I like the idea of soft coral. So I think I'm going for sticks on my Ultimate Nature Systems tank when I set it up.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of softies. And I keep thinking about the fish, because in obviously in the TMC tank I've got the puffer, and the boxfish, and they've got zoas in there. They haven't touched any of them. They're fine. But so I think they'd probably be okay with most soft corals. But if I put sticks in there, I wonder if they'll just nibble on the polyps, and then suddenly I'll be like, well, I don't want that anymore.
I don't know about the puffer, but I'd be surprised if the boxfish did it.
Yeah,
I don't think you have any worry with the boxfish.
I'm tempted to put the boxfish in my main tank, if I'm honest.
I know they're cool, aren't they?
I don't think I'm going to do it, but
I wouldn't advise you get if you move that boxfish into your main tank, fine. If you said I want another one for the main tank,
no. I'd do it with that particular fish.
Yeah,
but the puffer,
you know what that one's all right.
But the puffer, I think that's they're less reef safe than boxfish from what I've seen. I had
the boxfish with everything, like soft coral, SPS, LPS, and never touched anything. It was the best fish I ever had.
There you go. Why aren't I doing it? I've got so at the moment I'm trying to work out. I've got Aquascape problems. So for the new tank, before I even get it started, I've got to order the Aquascape. And I know I've designed one now. I've got the final design. It's all ready. It's fine. But the custom Aquascape company I used to use, or I've always used, I don't think they're still going. So I emailed them a couple of days ago and just said, look, are you still making scapes? If so, can I buy one? And I haven't heard back. And there's been no action on their Instagram page for 2 years. And even when I got my last scape off them, there was talk about that he's winding down or he's doing other things or whatever. So I don't think he's going to still be going. I'm hoping he just hasn't got back to me yet and he'll come back. But if not, then I might have to end up making my own Aquascape. I just don't want to do that. I hate putting rocks together because they never look good. They never look the way I want them to. And I couldn't do what I want to do.
There must be someone else that does something similar.
There are two other places. Black Pearl Marine and Custom Aquascapes are the other two. And so I might speak to them and just get one of them instead. But I just really liked the RR Aquascapes is the place I used before. They're just brilliant, and I've used them loads of times before. You always get a phosphate spike, but then that burns off and everything's fine. So I like that I know what I'm dealing with. So I'm hoping I'll get a reply, but I think he's probably packed in.
I heard. I spoke to him a little while ago.
You did.
I remember him saying that he's not doing anymore, and I was surprised he did one for you. So
it's just the thing. After that, he did mine. But he's brilliant. Don't give it up.
I'm sure he's not watching. He's probably sitting in the sun somewhere with a cocktail.
Exactly. Yeah. But I do like the idea of the softies in your tank, though, to be fair. What would you do? Just like mushrooms, zoas,
I have to
pulsing,
be careful.
what's it called?
I have to be careful because I know some angels will eat soft coral. I don't think I'll get away with zoas in there. I'm almost certain they'll get eaten.
Okay.
Although I've got some ugly ones, and I thought I could just try them. There's just some brown ones. And chances are they won't eat them and they'll spread them over everything. So I don't know. See, the other thing, I got one of those really nice OG bounce mushrooms. I got it when it was tiny, little tiny one, and it's grown into probably a couple of inches now. So it's like a nice showpiece, maybe even a bit bigger than a couple of inches. You don't see him this size very often, and I just thought if I put that in there, it's going to get eaten immediately, and then I'll be really mad. But I also don't want to, because I frag them sometimes, where I literally will take a razor blade and cut through them, and they're fine, they're hardy, but I don't really want to because I could do, I could cut it in half, put half of it in the tank, and keep the other half. But I like the fact it's big. So
it's taken quite a long time to get to that stage as well, hasn't it?
It's taken a little while. So that's a no. Les just offered me egg crate with 3 different types of zoas and pavona on it. So welcome to chucking as a tester. There you go. I am speaking of people that are offering coral for me to me. I put this is a request for me basically. I am looking for large SPS colonies, big acros basically. If you look at your tank and you go, oh, I really want it doesn't particularly matter what they are. If you have something you want to get rid of, and it's over sort of 15 centimeters, and you are local, like not in Manchester. I don't care if you're in Manchester, as long as you're willing to drive it to me. But you're like within sort of an hour from where I am, basically.
Where are you?
I am in West Sussex in Fakenham. So I'm in the RH20 postcode. So not about 15 minutes below Horsham and half an hour below Crawley. But yeah, if anyone has like a big acro, Montepora, things like that, I have a customer that's looking for them. So I'm just trying to do him a favor and work something out for him. So yeah, get in touch. So this is the best thing to do. Send me a message with the picture of it, the size of it, and the price you want. Because this is what people do. They go, I've got this coral. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't tell how big that is from the picture. And also, I have no idea what you're going to offer me for it. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You tell me what you want for it, and I will tell you if that amount's okay. Because it's not for me.
Do people message you and say, can I ask you a question?
All the time.
Yeah. That's the one thing that just if you want to not get a reply, say, can I ask you a question? Because then I've got to go back and say, yes, you can. Because I get this on Instagram quite a lot. And I've got to go back and say, yes, you can. And then I've got to look out for it. And I find that if I do that, if I ever do go back, say, yes, you can, go for it. Then it's like 3 days later, I'll get a reply back in. And because I can't, I'm thinking, right, I want to know what the question is now. So just, if you've got a question, just ask it. So give Ryan all the info. Load him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give everything in one go, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm basically being the middleman. I'm going to take your picture and the amount you want, and I'm going to send it to the customer and go, look, he's a good customer of mine. I'm just trying to do him a favor basically, and he needs big corals because he has a big tank. So I'm just trying to like facilitate this process as smoothly as possible, and don't send me any fake pictures. That will get like. Where it's like, we're gonna discuss that in a minute. I think this is gonna turn into a rant. I've realized. I
meant to ask you before the stream where that came from, but
I'll tell you exactly where it came from. Okay. So don't you worry. You can ask me. I might not tell you who it came from, but I will tell you where I got the idea from. Yes.
So there you go. Anything else apart from big colonies? Anything else?
It's basically any large SPS. It doesn't have to be particularly exciting. Like you might go, oh, I've got this like 3 foot wide Seriatopora. He might love it. So but also remember, if you send it to me and he's not interested, then you have to just bear with that as well. It's not like send me the picture is guaranteed. But yeah, what I do know is he's looking for acros, like pretty big acros. So the fact that Les says he's got a foot wide purple acro, that's the sort of thing you want. So probably. So yeah.
Well, that moves on to actually one of the things we won't do this in the news, but this was this was a member question from. There are 2 member questions this week, by the way. One is about tangs because I started by this live stream was originally the 7 worst tangs. And then I changed it. So one is about tangs. So Hamish, I'll kick that back to next week and we'll talk about that next week. The other one was from Licia, your staff, who said
it makes me cringe every time you say that, because if she ever feels that I feel that way, she might not come and help again.
I say it because I get a reaction. It's great.
I know.
Did you see Ryan's mate Polo's Reef had a big leak? Can't find much info, but really awful news. Yeah, so you would have seen. I had seen this. I presume you'd seen this as well. You messaged me about it. So he lost. I don't know exactly what's happened, but they lost 10,000 gallons of water in the middle of the night. So I don't think it was a leak in the tank. I presume there was a pipe burst somewhere or something. I don't really know. It doesn't say.
Yeah, I don't think it's a leak.
No, because the tank looks all fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main tank, and there are other systems connected to that. So
I have seen a video after this. They put a video this morning which appears to have been removed, but if you look at the it's gone now, so you can't see it. Yeah. But I think most of those corals died. The ones you'll see with their spraying. Yeah. They were like white. So I'm pretty sure that's an optimistic version of that video. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that was early days. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it went really, really like not good after that.
Pump back siphoned the water. Oh dear.
Oh, is that what it was? Because I couldn't
so.
find out what it was.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that happens or what happens, but basically it's like our tanks were. If you're in this long enough, it doesn't matter how big your tank is, how much money you have, how much like fail safes. Eventually, sometimes there is the perfect storm.
Yeah.
and it just happens, and it happens to everyone. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think more news to follow, but bad basically.
I was just wondering, like, where that water went, because if you put 10,000 gallons of water into my living room, I would have a swimming pool.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it went into the filter room, and he's got drains or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's even worse. Maybe it's gone into his his living room. I don't know.
Maybe the bot because that house is so deep, isn't it? It just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
I think
maybe
it wouldn't have. If it's a pump out of the way, it would have been in the filter room, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all drained away. But I don't know. This is the trouble with this is the thing with the world's obsessed with instant news at the moment. You've got to have breaking news, know what's going on. Really, you just want to sit back and let this all come out and then find out what happened later. But no, I did see that. So not good. Too bad.
Yeah. I feel sorry for him because it's a beautiful tank, and it will still be a beautiful tank.
Yeah.
And the best thing that he can do now, it's interesting. I said this to someone the other day who had an issue with their tank. They had a load of dead corals in their tank, and I said, they'd had an issue with it probably 2 months ago, but there were still corals that were hanging on, or and there were dead patches, and I just went, the best thing you can do is remove all of the dead coral, everything that's even possibly might come back, just take it out, because it's making you fed up having to stick, because every time you look at your tank you get reminded of that failure. And I got a message later that day saying, I did exactly what you said. I feel better already. It's because that's what I do. I cannot stand looking at anything dead, any pieces of coral, anything. No, they come out straight away. So I'm not one for trying to save a coral, which is probably beyond saving, if you see what I mean. Yeah.
What else have I got to tell you about? Some boring stuff. I don't even tell you that's boring. I've got speaking of exciting stuff though. So I got a frag rack this week, Ryan.
Okay. Oh, that is exciting.
Really exciting. So this was Spiritual Reefer messaged me and said he's worked on these. I think he just wanted to send it to me, to be fair. I don't think he was asking me to talk about it, but he sent me a frag rack. And he's been working on these magnets. They are, how did he describe them? After 2 years of refinement, marine spec magnets are fully sealed inside bonded plastic capsules before being integrated into the printed product. So basically, fancy magnets. And this is the frag rack. So this is a slimline one. They do all sorts of different types. I really like the slimline frag racks. I bought 2 the other day from the Avid Aqua ones. They're really good as well. So now I have 3. And that's it.
That looks like it would be the perfect dinner plate for when I try and put corals in with the
exactly
for them to try.
They can eat off that. Yeah, brilliant.
The problem with that, I assume the magnets wouldn't work on my tank because it's 18 or 19 mil glass.
Yeah, so my tank is 19 mil as well. I think these are rated up to 14 or 15, something like that.
What are they?
Oh. So they're in my sump, which is my sump's weird. It's 10 mil glass on the front and 8 mil on the side. Weird. But anyway, it's the same. The Avid Aqua ones are the same. They fit fine. They stick fine on that glass, but they don't feel particularly strong. And you they're fine for a frag rack, but for a tank, you want them to be really strong. And it's pretty rare that magnets work on 19 mil glass. But
even the MP40 ones only just work on 19 mil glass.
Yeah, sometimes they don't. Weirdly, so on mine, 3 of them work fine. One of them just didn't work at all. For whatever reason, but I've sorted that. But but there you go. Frag racks from marine-spec.co.uk. The other thing I've got to tell you about is, oh yeah, so my
I always
ICP.
look forward to the whatever you're about to say when you go, oh yeah,
I know, yeah.
it's just your way to like real pump me up.
So I bought 6 ICP tests. I bought a batch of ICP tests a couple of months ago, and the plan was just actually because I never use ICP tests properly in inverted commas. I use them to identify problems, whereas
Yeah,
really what they came when they were first brought out, they were the main reason was for trace elements, basically. Are you high or low on trace elements? They do all sorts of stuff, but I've never used them for that. So I thought, you know what? Let me do this for 6 months. I'm gonna follow what they say. So I got these I got these 6 in, and I've sent off the first 2 now. I send off one at the end of every month. I've sent off the first 2, and before there's no point me doing anything about trace elements because it told me that my magnesium and calcium were through the roof,
okay.
which is annoying because
Yeah,
my Salifert test kits were reading okay. Now it could be that the Salifert test kits are right and the ICP test kits are wrong,
yeah,
but the amount of magnesium I've been dosing and calcium, it makes sense that it's high. So
yeah.
I believe my ICP tests. I don't know if that's actually true or not. And
Have
there
you
are
replaced your Salifert test kit?
twice.
Oh, and it's still saying the same thing.
Yeah, so that it's I've also I wondered it was a bit inconsistent. I've wondered if I'm doing it wrong, and I've watched videos of other people doing it. I've read the instructions 10 times. You know, I don't think I'm doing it. I'd be surprised if I'm testing Salifert wrong. But
Yeah,
anyway, so I've sent off another ICP test, and I can't remember what it is, but my calcium's it starts with a 5 basically. So
yeah,
magnesium is really high. It doesn't magnesium can get quite high. It doesn't really matter, but this is above the point. I think it was north of 1500. I think it was like 1600 or something. So I've started to do water changes. So I did a 20% water change today.
yeah.
Next weekend, that's a pain in the ass because I don't really have the containers for it. But next weekend, my plan is to do 2 20% water changes, one on the Saturday, one on the Monday because I'm off on Monday.
If you
And
need
then
any water change, like if you need any barrels, I have 50 of them from Aqua. So all you need to do, bring me some RO water in return, and you can have as many barrels as you want.
the barrels, though, that what the problem is because I could just do that. I could just go
Yeah.
buy the water, of course. But if I buy barrels, then I've got to have if I had 50 barrels, I've got to have 50 heaters and 50 power heads to mix it because I'd
Why
need
do
to
you,
mix it.
what, you're planning to replace all of the water?
No, but if I for every, I'd need a heater for every barrel
Oh,
basically, and a pump to make. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So next weekend, the plan is to do 2 more 20% water changes,
yeah,
and then I'll send off another ICP test. And I'm hoping it won't have fixed it
yeah.
because if you run the maths on it, it can't fix it. But I'm hoping it'll be back to the point where it's
Acceptable.
yeah, within range more or less. Because I was dosing magnesium and calcium. I've stopped
Yeah,
that, of course. So I'm hoping this will fix it. But
sounds good. That noise you just made
I
for the
know.
people on the podcast would have sounded terrible.
Sorry, it's just bloody annoying though. When that sort of thing happens. But anyway, there we go. Let's talk about actually that's member questions. I think there was one more member question that came in. Yes, there is from Impatient Reefer. Evening, gents. This is my first spring properly in the hobby, and I'm hearing a lot about pollen and the issues it can cause. Do you both worry about pollen, and if so, what precautions you can take? I get runny eyes, my nose streams. I have to take cetirizine. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, isn't it? I don't like mowing the lawn. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I know what he's talking about with his tank, and I actually think that it is a thing.
Yeah,
I really think it is a thing.
yeah.
Because I noticed that I notice a difference in sometimes I think it can produce cyano. I don't know if you agree or not. Oh, 1 second, he's just putting an order in. So
I mean,
let's
so
try and
it's
focus.
specific issues. I don't know, but it's there are so many people who
Yeah,
report tanks looking worse in the summer and issues cropping up in the summer
yeah,
that it is. I believe it's a thing. That's not
yeah.
imagined. I don't think. So yeah, I'm with you. I just wanted to take the piss for a second, but you were.
I just wonder if it's a form of like carbon dosing. I don't know if that's what I think I've read something into it. I think that is
Well,
what it
pollen is sugar, isn't it?
probably maybe.
effectively, or is it glucose or something? I don't know. I do. You know what?
But I've definitely noticed I noticed a difference when in spring, definitely.
Yeah.
And obviously I have a big ventilation system on that. So I have fresh air coming into there all the time, which is great for like keeping your pH up, but not great for when there's loads of pollen around.
It contains proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and vitamins, along with the male gamete. Oh no, genetic material. Male genetic material, Ryan. What do you think that means?
I'm not sure. So,
But yes. So do you? So I don't. I don't do anything about it. I don't. I don't feel like there's much I can do, to be honest.
yeah.
Do you do anything?
No,
You've
there
got-
is. No, there's nothing you can do really. I have
Yeah.
filters on the ventilation system, but I don't think that makes probably a massive difference. I think it
Yeah.
just like
Yes,
probably pollen's tiny, so it's just
exactly.
is what it is.
And you can get pollen filters, but like for your house and stuff, HEPA, is it HEPA filters? But
Yeah.
yeah.
The other thing I'm interested to see if it happens this year. Last year, the coral farm had an infestation of flying ants for one day. One day.
Yeah.
Like I walked in there and I was like, there's thousands of them. Where I was only in here an hour ago. Where have you all come from? And then a day later, they're all gone. So
flying ant day is a thing, and that's every year.
I never knew that.
Really? If you never,
No,
you don't go outside, you don't leave the house, do you?
No, they came in the
you
house.
get millions of the bastards. This used to be like this was just going back to primary school. You just get smothered in them. Like it's horrible. But yeah, but the question was, do you both worry about pollen? If so, what precautions you take? I don't worry about it as such, but it is a thing. And what precautions? I don't really, apart from like hay fever tablets, which probably doesn't do an awful lot for the corals.
Yeah, true.
It's not.
So anyone listening, do not put hay fever tablets in your tank.
Feed them to your fish. It's fine. Then they'll poop it out, and they'll get there eventually. So, no, but it's a thing. Yeah, I just don't know what you can do about it really.
Yeah, it's difficult when it's like everywhere.
Yeah. Do more water changes?
Yeah, potentially. That hurts at the moment for me. Yeah, why would you even mention that?
Yeah,
that's a point. Kicking a man when he's down.
I filled up my RO reservoir today so much that it was touching the top of the.
It was just overflowing everywhere onto the kitchen floor.
Don't care. Just pour it away. Yeah, I'll make some more with my booster pump. There we go. But there we go. So there's pollen is a thing. Yeah. What else were we going to talk about? Yeah, let's talk about the headline subject, shall we? Yes. So this is coral photography, Ryan. So this was Ryan, you messaged me. I don't know.
Yes.
We've been to. This is not a new subject, right? This deliberately bad coral photography. It has been around for a long time since corals were sold, basically. But where did this come from? Why did this bother you this week?
I noticed. Oh God, I don't know say who it is, but I noticed it to the next level. Like when you're like there's like mild, subtle changes, and then there's like absolutely just it is not possible for that coral to be that.
Yeah.
And it annoys me for a whole range of reasons. Some of them are indirectly, and some of them are more directly. So I'll explain. So directly is easy. If someone's going to buy a coral, they're going to buy the one that looks nicer or appears to look nicer. Yep. So, this actually did happen, but it doesn't bother me. One of my customers bought a coral. It was vast. I saw where they bought it from. It was vastly different, and I was interested. So I sent a message going, when that coral arrives, can you let me know what it's like? And he sent me a message going, it is nothing like the picture. I went, yeah, I had a feeling that might be the case. That's why I asked you. Now, interestingly, I have that same coral. So he bought my coral, exactly the same coral, but the other one was chosen potentially, or he might not know that.
Yeah.
Potentially because that one looked much nicer.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons. The second reason that really bothers me quite a lot is most people don't actually want to buy coral online. Like if you have the choice of going into a shop to buy coral
Mhm.
or to go into or to buy it on a website? Which would you rather do?
I don't like. I'm the worst for buying coral online. I don't like doing it
Yeah,
all the
and
time. I would far rather buy in shop.
do
100%.
you know what's ironic? I am exactly the same. I far
Yeah.
prefer, like, even with the wholesaler now, so I have the choice of multiple wholesalers. Some of them will ship to me, even as far as Indonesia, they'll ship to me. But I like to go in there and pick the exact coral myself. Like, has it got any pests on it? Has it got any like weird things I've never seen before? Is it healthy? Is it as vibrant? Is there like maybe it's a gonia, it's just got a little tiny patch that's like starting to strip, and you go, oh yeah, probably don't take that or whatever. So people will always prefer to buy in person, but the people that are sending corals which are vastly different to the pictures, those people don't want to buy online again because they've been burnt. So those
Mm.
people then won't come and buy from me in the future. So it's about damaging the reputation of online people as a whole. I feel you might disagree, but I do think that is a thing.
No, there are various threads to it, right? So, and there are levels as well. So first thing to say is taking photos of corals is actually quite difficult. Taking a properly accurate
Yeah,
photo of a coral is not easy. I
yeah,
can get it pretty close, to be fair, and I don't care what my corals look like if I'm. Well, actually, that's not strictly true. There are times I'll turn the saturation up if I'm posting it on
yeah,
Instagram, or whatever. But generally, I want it to. I want to look. I want to take a photo for my own benefit. I want to know what it looks like.
yeah,
So I can take a relatively decent photo with of a coral because I've watched all the videos on how to do it. I've got the fancy camera and all that sort of stuff. So you can do it if you learn how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, it's actually quite difficult, especially if you don't have a proper camera. If you just got a mobile phone, even no matter what you do, you're not going to get an accurate photo. So my phone is a Samsung S24 Ultra, which has
yeah,
got a decent camera. It's got a pro mode, so I can adjust white balance. I can adjust aperture, everything basically. I can sort the exposure. I can make it look the way I want it to. I've got an orange lens, so that takes out the filter. Still, I can never get. I can get kind of close, but it will never look accurate on my phone. So if you've got a phone, you're stuffed from the word go. Basically, if you've got a mirrorless camera, a proper camera like this, then no problem. You can
yeah,
do it much better. Even then, some cameras are better than others. But so first off, it is quite difficult to get it right. And if you've got a phone, if you're taking phone photos, they're not going to be good. That doesn't
yeah.
mean that that you shouldn't do it. And there are times if you're going to do that, if you're going to take photos of a coral with a phone, make it look worse, not better than it actually does. If anything, like if you can't get it accurate, don't make it look better.
Have you got the pictures that I sent you? Because I sent you some
Yeah.
emails, didn't I?
Mhm.
Just because there are I see people buying these corals. You can like you literally can see people like they're like it's like through auctions, and I look at them going, they're just not real. Like they and if you don't know what to look for, and that includes me, like originally, this isn't
Yep.
like when you buy something, you expect you expect the seller to be honest. So this
Yep.
is not the buyer's fault. Someone I think it might have been someone in the comments said it's pretty obvious. Should be able to like you can tell with common sense. I can't remember who said that. For some reason I thought it was Licia, but maybe it's not. But you shouldn't have to use common sense. It's like it's false advertising, basically.
Yeah. So and that's it. So it can be just I'm trying to get the photo right. It's just difficult.
Yeah,
And even like there are some corals that for whatever reason I can't get them accurately at all.
yeah,
So it can be that. But and if you're having a stab, you're trying your best
yeah.
and you get it a little bit
No,
wrong.
no, no.
Fine.
I'm talking. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people. If you look at the pictures I sent you, like all I've done, I've sent you a picture, didn't I, of what the coral looks like, and then
Yeah.
I've literally just increased the saturation to the full, and then put
Yeah.
that on, and those that would probably be the least worst one of the ones where, but you can see it's like subtle, but yeah,
So
like
actually, to be fair, these photos you sent me,
yeah,
they're not a particularly good example. They look better, but they're
yeah,
like the stuff we're talking about is when it looks completely different. Where these,
yeah,
all you've done is the saturation. But wind back a little bit because like you can get a photo a little bit wrong, it doesn't quite come out right. Maybe you haven't got an expensive camera, so you're just using your phone, and it comes out the camera, or it comes out your phone looking rubbish. So you're like, well, I need to change that a little bit, so at least it looks half decent. So maybe you bump the saturation up 4 or 5 points or whatever.
Yeah.
You play with a few other bits and you make it look a little bit better. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think that's kind of okay if you're trying to make it look better than the photo because the photo is bad, or if you haven't got the right camera equipment. If you're a professional coral seller, if you're just selling corals on eBay, like out of your own tank, out of your frag tank, I don't think you need to invest loads of money in coral photography. But if you're a professional coral seller, you should probably buy a camera. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive. 500 quid, you could get a decent camera secondhand with a lens, and you can make it look good. So you should probably be doing that. So if you're getting it to the point where you've at least got a good camera, you've at least got an accurate photo, that's great. But the level beyond that is you take, it doesn't matter if it's a good or bad photo, but you start editing it. I'm not just editing it like, oh, that doesn't quite look the way I think it does. I sprinkle a little bit of spice on it, which is a little bit bad. But the levels are when it looks completely different, to the point that it's like, so I bought a coral about 7-8 years ago. I remember it because it's a place I didn't go back to again. It was online. It was green and pink acan, right? And it looked amazing in the photo. And when it arrived, it was green. It was just green.
Wait a minute, I remember an order from 7 or 8 years ago for a green or pink acan.
It wasn't you. It was a green and pink acan, and that was just what it sold as, and the photo looked really good. And then it arrived and it was just green. There was some faded hint of red maybe, but it was totally different. And that is what you're talking about when it's completely, they've obviously edited the photo to make it look saturated or whatever.
There was, so literally just last night, there was a, what was it? A glittergony. And the glittergony had the most vibrant red tips. And have you ever seen a glittergony with red tips? No. And I showed Rachel. I see Rachel obviously doesn't know about coral, and I showed her. I said, "Look, this is what we're talking about tomorrow." And I took the picture and I changed the saturation on it, and I returned and I showed her obviously what a glittergony is and that picture. Changed the saturation, then made it look the same. I said, "This is the problem. People are getting this coral, but they think they're getting this one, and it's just not real." And yeah, as I said, I think it does harm to, it was Prime Coral said a minute ago, it does harm to all online sellers. And it's a practice which should be like really, it should be one of those things where people are like, this is not acceptable. Like if someone knows, if someone sees a coral like that and goes, they should go, that's not real, for everyone else to see, if you see what I mean. Because until people, like, no one polices that side of the hobby. And look, don't get me wrong, definitely I would have done things earlier on at some point. 100%. I was using my phone, so I had to, as you said, to try and tweak things to make things look.
But that's it. If you're just trying to play with it a little bit, I don't mind that. Even, and to be fair, even these photos that you were showing, that's not night and day. Obviously the one on the left that's saturated looks nicer. But that's not night and day. And actually, to be fair, my Bernie Banana style looks more like the one on the left than it does on the one on the right.
I know. I'm just trying to like give you. I was very quickly trying to do an example, so I didn't want to put like
so I don't mind. That's a bit extreme because you've obviously gone 100% on the saturation.
I have done 100.
Yeah, exactly. So that I don't particularly like that. But if you're playing with it a little bit, I think that's okay. But if it looks completely unrecognizable, that's just straight up dishonest. You're lying to your customer.
Yeah.
You're saying, I'm going to sell you. The only reason they're buying it is because you've made it look the way they do. Yeah. And it can trap anybody, but it traps. And I've been caught by that when I've had experience.
Yeah.
You think, oh, this was great. It gets in. And
I won't say anything, but relatively recently you sent me a picture going, do you think this is fair? Because I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm like, well, it's up to you.
I've warmed to it in the end on that one, actually. It's not as bad as I first thought. But anyway, you can always get caught out. But the people who get caught out most are beginners because they don't know. They haven't seen hundreds of different corals or thousands of different corals. They'll see a coral online that they haven't seen before. It looks amazing. Wow. And it's only 20 quid. And you're taking advantage of those people. It's like,
Yeah. The only time I look, the other thing I want to say, corals are well pre anyway.
Mm.
Like they have their own natural beauty. You don't need to and you put them under blue light and they'll glow and everything, but you don't need to like change if you have full blues and an orange lens, that is a not technically fake picture of a coral. If you have it with a yellow lens, it'll be more accurate. It's not technically fake.
Mm.
Like they've not adjusted anything to get that picture. They've not like changed the saturation and stuff, other than in real life.
Yeah.
But corals
I'm totally fine with top down as well, because they look better because
yeah,
you're not looking through glass.
yeah. All of those.
That is
all
actually
those
that is also that's the best. That is how the coral looks. So that is actually is the best of it. But that's the way to make it, to see exactly what it looks like. And when you're in a shop, you tend to look top down because you want to see it looking nice, not through glass, to be fair.
Yeah.
So that I'm fine with. And they're normally in shallow water, because the more water, the worse the image quality. So that all totally fine, no problem, because that's genuine, that's real. It's presenting it in the best situation, but that's fine. But when you're making it look complete to the point that nobody would, if you showed the photo that you bought next to the actual coral, and everybody's like, no, it's completely different.
Yeah, and I keep an eye on the corals on the auction site. Like, I don't want corals like that on there. And to be fair, as far as I know, I'd say that like they're pretty accurate. The most of the pictures, I would say. I can't guarantee there's like 300 corals on there at the moment, but I would say I think people know, and when they sign up, I think it says, please make sure you post accurate pictures, because it's important to me that people do. Because I don't want people disgruntled coming back to me going, this guy sold me this and it doesn't look like this. The only time that I ever edit the pictures myself is there's a little thing that says sharpness, and I will increase the sharpness level because I've taken a blurry picture, and then I don't have to retake it. If you get a blurry picture and you up the sharpness, it then just makes it not blurry, and I'm like, perfect. So that is the only thing I ever touch.
That is all fine. It's when it's completely different. And this, eBay used to be a nightmare for this. There were times when, not only was it bad photos, it would have some ridiculous name, toxic whatever, and nuclear, like just some nonsense. And it was always just like so obvious to me anyway, or to lots of people, that it was that is not what, there was no way the coral looks like that. It'll be a Duncan or whatever that's a pretty plain coral, and it's glowing this fluorescent green with yellow and red and all that. And you're like, what the hell is that? What have you done? I don't even know how you've done that. So I've tried before to take photos, and like for a thumbnail, I tried for this to make my own thumbnail that showed how ridiculous it can be. I couldn't get it looking as bad as some of them that you see. It's like, how have you done
that? That's what I realized while I was doing it. I was like, how, when I was increasing the saturation, I'm like, this isn't bad enough. It was like, how do I get it to that level?
But I don't understand why you do that, because what if you're selling corals and you sell a coral to one person, and it turns up and it looks nothing like the coral that they bought, that customer is never coming back to you again. So you might have sold 100%. One coral, but you are not going to build a business if you're getting new customers in every time. So what are you trying to achieve by just making corals look unrealistic? You're just pissing everybody off. So
it's a quick sale, basically. It's a quick sale, and it's almost like an insult to the other people's intelligence, assuming that they're not going to notice. You are the person that policed what I do originally. Like Alex said to me, like you're no, I wasn't doing anything bad. He just went, your pictures are shit, basically. like you need to get like a proper camera and I would say, look, I got the camera, the pictures are still shit, but it actually makes me feel good. And they're not terrible, they're not as bad as they used to be. They're all right now. But
to be fair, when your photos were bad, they were bad because they didn't make the coral look the way it did. You were never trying to make them look fake. You were just crap at taking photos of corals.
Yeah, that's true.
And you just had
I feel like there's a compliment or something in there
somewhere in there. Yeah, if you go digging, you'll find it.
I literally just got my phone and I put an orange lens on it, and I took the picture holding the coral, and it wasn't like it didn't. give the professionalism I was looking for. And you were right.
Exactly. Do you ever edit any photos apart from sharpness?
No, I don't think so. I think well, you can see you just literally with regards to the burning banana one, you went, your picture's rubbish. The saturated one looks more like the actual coral.
It's still exaggerated. There's actually one thing, because you've got a Fuji camera. There's one thing you can do in the camera.
Yeah.
It's called, what's it called? I can't remember. But there's a mode that you set it to Velvia. It's called. You don't want to do this for selling corals, but if you've got a Fuji camera and you're taking photos of your tank, set it to Velvia. Oh mate, they look amazing.
Really?
yeah. But that's the one thing I miss. This camera is Fuji, but my main camera for corals is now Sony. It doesn't have anyway.
It's become so indoctrinated into the industry that like sometimes you'll get pictures from people in Indonesia or even wholesalers send you pictures, and you look at them, you go, that's not real. Like, how is this a thing? The people at the very top, like the people collecting the corals, are doing the same thing as the hobbyists.
So why do they do that then? Because if they're selling to all professional buyers, the professional buyers know. So is it because those photos find their way out? Well, maybe they don't.
I'm telling you, because I asked someone, and I went, why do you send these pictures? And they went, sell more coral. Simple as that. And I'm like, well, I was like, don't send those pictures to me. And it's true. It's like it's frustrating because, like, if I go get a coral, I'm like, oh yeah, my customer will definitely like that, and then it arrives. I had one the other day, and it was like, it looked red in the picture, and it turned up and it was brown. So even I get caught out sometimes, and I'm just like, I didn't go back to that wholesaler for like probably 3 or 4 months. Just because I went.
So you forwarded a photo from the?
No. They sent me pictures. I ordered it. No, I ordered a load of corals, not for anyone else, just specifically for me.
Yeah.
And I thought these would be good to frag. It was a Goniastra, and it looked red and with like dots and stuff. And I got it. I was like, this is brown with white dots. It literally looks like a turd.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't your photo; it was someone else's photo, and then
As in, it was the photo from the wholesaler, and it's a very small wholesaler. I don't use them very often. I have spoken to them and I said, don't do it again. And I said, don't do it again. And this is the reason you haven't heard from me for the 4 months, because I have to trust when you send me something that it's going to be like real, and I'm getting what I wanted. And he went, no problem. If you still got it, I'll take it back. So like they understand.
Good,
And I felt in that instant exactly the same way as anyone who gets a coral which doesn't look like the right thing would feel. So, except I almost feel like you shouldn't do it at the wholesaler level, if you see what I mean. I feel like it should be at the wholesaler level. It should be all.
Thing is, business to business, you've got to take care of yourself. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
that's the way it works. Yeah. Business to consumer, they're a consumer with protections. You've got to look after the customer.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's even more of a
point. I mean, not that anyone's going to court over a bad photo of a coral, but you know.
No. But you can easily, this is a very, very small industry, and for anyone who's thinking about selling coral, if you want to survive, that is not the way to do it. Because if you piss off a few people, you've got no customers left.
Yeah, you get a reputation as well.
Yeah, definitely.
As word spreads. Because that's the other thing. It's a small hobby, so people talk, don't they?
Especially when the people are online on a live stream.
Exactly. But like on Facebook as well, there are loads of Facebook groups where people will post photos and that. I bought this from X company. Look at it.
Yeah. I recently received a guy that looked completely different from the images. Seller said it could look different under different lights and needs to settle.
So that's the other thing. So that there's often like there are things. The thing we're talking about is it's lying, basically. It's deceitful photography and editing. There are some times when things aren't exactly like that, though. So there might be a time when your coral looks different because it's under different lights.
Yeah.
Or if it's an acro and it's been two days in the post, it arrives, it looks a bit stressed or whatever. You put it in your tank. If it changes over a couple of days and there's different nutrients or whatever. So there are times when it will not be down to the coral. The coral you bought is how it is. It's just it was the person who was keeping it is better at keeping that coral than you are.
Yeah.
So that's not what we're talking about as such. But there are times when, and I guess it's a bit like it can probably be a little bit difficult to work out which is which. But when it go on, sorry.
I think that saying it's like definitely saying it under different light. If you've got white lights and it came from a shop and the picture was taken under blue lights, which it would have been, because everyone takes coral under blue lights usually because they just look better. Then they will look like a gold torch under white lights will look brown.
Yeah.
So that is not necessarily a different coral, but all I would say in that situation is if you're not happy with the coral, change your lights to blue so you know there isn't actually an accurate coral. Even if you don't want to keep them there permanently, then you'll then know you got the same thing. If you do change your lights to blue and it's still not the same coral, then there's a problem.
Yeah. And that might be subtle differences.
Yeah.
Because all lights will look slightly different, and some are more different than others. But I'm talking major differences, not when you look at it and you think, is that what I ordered? When you look at it, it's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Like, as I said, I've done it plenty of times myself. It's some of the corals will just look amazing when they're saturated. Are like chalices, like rainbow chalices, and definitely torches are one of those things. Torches are definitely one where people like up the saturation. I think it would be useful to discuss how you can tell if it's
well, that's what I was just thinking. How do you guard against this? Because to be honest with you, the way I do it is I don't buy online, or if I do, I don't buy. There are select vendors that I will buy from online. Signature Frags, Jason's Aquatics. That might be the end of my list. not to say that there aren't other.
And you never buy from me online. You always come down.
Well, I come to you exactly. Yeah. There are probably others, to be fair, and I'm not saying those are the only three that you can trust. But so I don't buy from vendors. I don't. Oh, even then, I bought a coral recently that just looked. Size is difficult to tell sometimes, and that's not necessarily. That's difficult to show. Yeah, but it's difficult to show in a photo.
Yeah,
unless you've got something in the background that shows it. But you can easily be caught out, and especially if you go looking on eBay. If it's a coral like if it's a scrambled egg zoa, you know what a scrambled egg zoa looks like, or a barley green slimer, you know what that looks like. If it's something a little bit unusual, you're kind of, it's a bit of pot luck. So how do you choose then? How do you guard against that? How do you protect yourself?
What, with regards to size or with regards to
no, the way it looks? So
you have to get, if you get the pictures up again, it's probably easier to show. Here's the honest answer: if something looks too good to be true, it often is. That should absolutely be a number one rule in this hobby. I think that if it's easy to get the torch coral up, that's that's a good example where I know that's obviously super saturated, but so
the one on the right, by the way, with the mouse over at the moment, that is how it looks normally. The one on the left that's glowing more brightly has got saturation turned up.
If it looks like that, basically, where it looks like it's radioactive, it's probably not real. Now, what I'll say is the coral on the right is actually, it might not look that fancy or nice in that picture. It's actually, I actually do like that coral. When I see it in the farm, I do like it. You're looking at going, it's brown and ugly. I can tell by the look on your face already. You're like, that brown coral they sent you.
It's funny because I actually don't like either coral, but if I wouldn't buy the one on the right or as the one on the left. This is the thing. I think even when I know, I look at the one on the left, I think, well, it does look nice though. Well, maybe it's only a little bit polished, and it won't be and then you arrive, oh god, because you convince yourself, don't you?
What I was going to say is I was going to say that usually you can tell from the plug what it looks like, but in those pictures you actually can't really tell from the plug that much.
That one you can't tell at all.
That's what I'm thinking.
You can, that looks a little bit, but even then it's quite subtle. You could miss that easily, couldn't you?
Oh, 100% you could miss
if you've got them side by side, you can be like, oh well, look, there's blue on that and that one's white. But that's quite difficult to spot.
It's usually if it has like a pink hue. See, that one has a pink hue to it. You see how like the plug is sort of
Yeah.
like pink, isn't it? That I know some of that's coralline algae, but
Yeah.
okay. So even though we know they're fake, we're
This is the
struggling.
thing. This is like these are subtle differences. There are times
Yeah,
I've seen when you see if there's something white in the background, whether it's a frag plug or egg crate. There's
yeah,
times I've seen the egg crate that looks like fluorescent yellow.
purple. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
And you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, something's going on there. So there are some obvious signs.
yeah,
If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
yeah. If
But
it's
if that,
like absolutely glowing fluorescent,
yeah,
it's very unlikely to look that. Pictures don't usually fluoresce, is what I'll say. Like if you just take a picture of a coral, it doesn't usually like have that glow to it. You might look
mm.
like that more in person, but well, like with the lights. But if it looks really, really glowing, the chances are it's probably too good to be true, is what I'll say.
Something just popped into my head as a thing, but I've
The look on
forgotten
your
what.
face as it pops straight back out again.
It did immediately. This is just like the thing. It's not even getting old. I've always done this. I just
Yeah.
lose stuff. I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was probably quite interesting and witty. So let's just
Yeah,
all laugh at
probably. I will just laugh on your behalf.
that. Thank you. But yeah, bad. Oh, how can you protect yourself then? I guess. I mean, would you? Ah, that's what it was. If someone said so, I do this occasionally. It's a bit of a long way round though. I will sometimes say, "Can you send me a photo of that under white lights?"
Yeah, that's an option.
But
That's
the thing
definitely an
is,
option.
the problem is that takes a bit. If you want to buy a coral and you're online and you want to buy it now, sometimes you don't want to wait 3 days to send a reply, get a message back, and all these sorts of things. But if a random customer emails you and says, "Can you send me a photo of that? Is that coral under white lights?" Is that realistically is that going to happen, or would you not bother?
Look,
What would you do?
I try and get every sale I can, is the honest answer. It doesn't. It's very unusual for that to happen. Maybe it's because people will look at my pictures and go, "We always know Ryan's pictures look shitter than what we're going to achieve, like what we're going to receive." I have one customer who I feel bad to this day. He bought quite an expensive coral, and he has the picture that was sent to him was sent from someone else, and I forwarded it on, and it didn't like. There were two things. Firstly, his tank was run with white light, so it was like a massively noticeable difference.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything to me. And probably like 4 months later, or maybe even 6 months later, he said something, and I feel bad that he didn't. He spent a lot of money. And he didn't get what he wanted. So he's a customer I have now where anything that he's interested in, I will take a picture with a yellow lens, with a blue lens, to make sure that it gets as accurate as possible. Because I don't want to be one of those people where I'm sending like what we're discussing. I want people to get what they want. Someone asked me about a coral the other day, and they said it was the coral was actually black and green. It was a Catulophilia. But in the picture, it looked like it was red and green. And I understand. You ever seen a red and green Catulophilia?
I'd buy it if I saw one.
Exactly. And I went, look, I'll be honest, is like this isn't right. This is what it looks like. And he bought the coral anyway because it looked nice just with its natural coloration. So it's.
But the thing you said at the start about why you asked the wholesalers why they do it, that is it's as simple as that, because they sell more corals.
Yeah. And as I say, it goes all the way up back to Indonesia. You see some of the lists that come in with the pictures of the corals, like it's unreal. It's unreal what you get sometimes. So, like in terms of the pictures that you think that they can get away with. But
I think that I think it's probably about choosing the right vendors, and that might mean that you miss out on coral. So I rarely shopped on eBay.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it, and I shop with the ones I know. I tend to buy in person mostly. I prefer it. Even your website. I've bought some stuff off your website, to be fair, before.
Yeah.
But I'd rather come down and see your farm and see the coral, because it's not even. But that's it's you take pretty accurate photos, but it's like I said at the start, it's difficult to get exactly accurate photos. So some corals might look different, and there are some corals that I might look at on your website and think, not bothered about that, and then I see them in the flesh. Actually, the dragon fruit cyphastria is a great example of that.
You love that coral.
No, but on your website, it looks like, you'd gloss past it, you'd be like, it's just green, whatever. You
Yeah,
see it
yeah.
in the flesh, and it's like, oh my god, give me 10 of them, you know. So it's not
I'm
just about.
while you're talking, I'm actually looking at the auction site to see if anyone's done it, and I would
Yeah.
say they're pretty good. There's a couple where you can see they've just been taken with an orange lens, but there's nothing that's like absolutely outrageous, is what
See,
I'll
I
say.
don't orange lens. I don't mind because at the end of the day, if you've got like if you don't have a fancy camera, especially if you're not doing this like big scale professional, you probably don't have. Even if it's 500 quid, you might not have
Yeah.
500 quid to spend on a camera. So that's fine.
Yeah.
If you can use your phone, and cameras on phones are pretty good now. So if you're just using a phone, blue lights with an orange lens, I don't mind that actually, and you can generally tell roughly what they'll look like anyway. The issue that I've got is editing. When you're editing it
Yeah.
to make it look way better, because
Yeah.
if it will always look slightly better. My Samsung as well. That is that they're I don't know what they do, but the Samsung photos always look a little bit polished, even when you're editing them. So some phones will make them look better anyway. But I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Because if it's just like, look, that's the best I can do. Even if you can afford a nice camera, do you want to spend 6 months learning how to use it or whatever, you know? So I don't mind that.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, so am
So
I. So
I I think it comes down to dishonesty, is what it is.
that's it. That's the long and the short of it, isn't it? Yeah.
So
You're just lying to people. It's fraud,
I feel
effectively.
like do you feel like we've covered everything with regards to this topic? Is there anything else that anyone in the chat would like to put forward? Like, in fact, I already know the answer is going to like, if I said to people, would you rather have accurate pictures or would you rather have enhanced pictures? I know everyone's going to say I would rather have accurate pictures, which is why it's insane that this is such a common practice.
But that's the answer. That's what you want. But if you posted the photos that you sent me that we've shown already, if you posted those on your Coral Auctions website, I guarantee you'd sell more of the.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure.
people might want that.
I would sell one to that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
But then not again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think we probably have covered. To be honest, it's just about dishonesty. It's like that's really, if it's a little bit different, fine. Look, no one's perfect. It's actually quite difficult to get photos right in the first place. So no problem with that. But if it's completely different, no, not okay.
Yeah.
If you're deliberately making it look like something it's not, maybe this isn't the right industry for you.
Yeah. And corals will sell themselves. They literally sell themselves. They're actually very photogenic.
Yeah.
So,
Alex, what's up with your wrist? Nothing. Why? Does it look
what's
weird?
on your wrist?
Oh,
It's
what's
just
on
a
your
watch.
wrist? I've got a watch, but what's
It's
on
a
my wrist?
hand.
Yeah. Oh, it's the hand, right? I see. Yeah. No. Anyway, right. I think we've done that then. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop
I'd
it.
say.
Stop it. Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
And I've seen people in the chat saying it's worse in the States than it is over here.
I believe that.
In the US,
yeah, I absolutely believe that.
Well, where do you think we got the idea from? So,
yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. All right. So, in which case, we can move on to the Prestige Reef Fish of the Week.
Ah, yes. Remind me. There you go. I have gone for a fish.
Hang on.
I'm not prepared today.
The trouble is, I'm going to do this as a poll.
I have gone
I already know the
very
answer.
slowly. You're doing the poll, are you?
Yeah.
I have. Okay. Are you ready? I have gone for a Holy Grail wrasse. Now, these are a fancy fish.
Oof.
I don't know if they always look fancy. That you know how you look at that picture, it looks like it's been enhanced.
Speaking of polished photos, actually, you know what? I found a photo from Quality Marine earlier.
Yeah.
And Quality Marine take the best photos. Fact. Here we go. So maybe that's more realistic. But I want to. I want to buy that one because it looks better.
Yeah. So this may or may not be what the fish looks like. We have no idea. But they are not a cheap fish. I think they call them like super males, don't they? I think that like the males on them. and I think they're like £680.
675 and 679
Okay,
in
yes,
the first two prices in the UK on the website.
I think they're pretty rare. I think they come from Madagascar, maybe.
I do, yeah.
There you go. And I think they may be deep water as well.
What's the scientific name?
No idea. Not a chance.
Disappointed.
What I will say is they absolutely jump. I know someone who had one that jumped. That's painful. Yeah. And the other thing that I will say is based on the other wrasse, which are similar to them, they are probably wieners. They're probably like the real, well, they're like the
runs of the litter.
Yeah, they're like they're soft fish, aren't they? Flasher wrasse. They usually get bullied by everything else in the tank.
Right, yeah.
So they're an acquired taste, but I just thought I would show off a fish that I hadn't seen before, and I thought that maybe you won't have seen before. I know you have, but like the people watching.
Paracalanus. I'm trying to find the wrasse compatibility chart from what's his face.
Probably not on there. It's probably so unusual.
I wouldn't be surprised because I want to see if.
It's done by scientific name, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've got the scientific name here. Here we go. Right, wrasse compatibility. Here we go. Oh, someone's taken a photo of it. Right, hang on. Let's put this up so you can see. What was it? Paracalanus hemitaeniatus. I don't know. Ryan, find the Paracalanus on this list. I can't find it.
I can't even see it. It's too small for me.
Okay. I think we're going to have to give up. But I was wondering, because that sorts them by aggression. It's not on the wrasse compatibility chart. Oh, man.
There you go. Too aggressive for the chart.
Or too wimpy.
Yeah, I'm going to say too wimpy. I don't know for sure, but generally those sorts of fish are usually the lowest in the pecking order. And they usually get bullied by everything else, possibly because they're like shafts.
Yeah, exactly. I think they put people out. They put other fish out, and they're like, "I don't like you. Stop sharing."
They're like, "Oh, look how flamboyant I am," and the other fish are like, "No,
exactly. Yeah,
I don't like that.
You're nothing special."
Yeah.
All right. Well, it won't come as a surprise to know that is a good fish of the week.
There you go.
Are they the same temperament as a Naoko wrasse, Ryan? Naoko.
No idea, but are they? I thought Naoko wrasse is something different, or a different family of wrasse.
They probably are, but they're the same kind of thing. They're a showy wrasse that piss people off, piss fish off.
Yeah. So I've realised how I can win fish of the week every time. All I have to do is pick a £680 fish.
Exactly.
And then people will be like, "Yeah, that's cool. You we'll vote for him."
Yeah. Okay, 83%. That's not bad.
I literally spend my whole week waiting for this moment for validation. So you're not even smiling. You're like,
it worked. No,
if you didn't laugh, it's because you feel like it's true.
I was laughing, but it's true. What is the Prestige Reef Coral of the week?
This is one. Remember I said you'd like it? I'm going for a Jason Fox Flame because I know you'd like it. Which is your vote for me. And I think you've had this coral, haven't you? Or something similar.
I got it from Signature Frags. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. It is a belter. This is Pieces of the Ocean. By the way, if you want eye candy in the UK, go on the Pieces of the Ocean Instagram page. They're just, they're amazing. That is, I would say that is an accurate photo of, and I'm winding back 3 years ago, but of what it looks like. The sand looks a bit blue, so maybe there's a tiny bit of polish there, but that looks accurate to me. It's a lovely coral. What can you tell us about it, Ryan?
Nothing. I was expecting you to tell us about it. I'm assuming it's probably a pain in the ass to keep because it's one of the nicer acros. I think that, and it's red with gold tips. There you go.
Not really red.
Sorry. Not like
not really gold. Exactly. It's lovely though. I loved it. I can't remember how much I paid for mine. It was either 150 or 250. It was a lot for a small frag, and it took it. I shut my tank down. Oh, but it's so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Painful.
But yeah,
do you ever wonder if they're like mentally okay with us when you tell me that it was £250 for a frag which literally could die overnight?
Half an inch tall, yeah. And it's going to take 3 years to grow out to something that you can actually.
I do wonder if this might actually be the new definition of insanity.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
What is
So
the
that's
press? Go on, sorry.
no, that is the Prestige Reef fish and coral of the week. We're
Oh
done
yeah,
now.
of
There
course
is
it
no
is. Yeah,
Prestige Reef invert.
yeah. I've just realised that the guy was probably asking what my watch is,
Oh,
rather than there being something else. Anyway, there we go. So that is the Prestige Reef fish of the week and the Prestige Reef coral of the week.
did the coral of the week do well? Because I know it's gonna. This pushes me through the rest of the week.
Oh, I didn't do a poll.
Oh, not good.
Is
Uh,
the fox?
you should have just I can't see when you do a poll, which means you should be like, yeah, 99%
No,
right.
you
You're all
bombed,
good.
mate. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
2%. Good coral of the week. Create poll. Bang, go. Right,
I'm
we'll
not
see.
sure this will do well because it looks
Might
nice.
not do.
I don't want
So
it
if
to.
you're a stickhead, that's manna
Yeah.
from heaven.
Yeah,
But if you're a normal person,
yeah,
you might
it's
just be like,
brown with yellow
you paid
tips.
250 quid for a half-inch frag of that. Are you mental?
Yeah.
But look at the smooth, like, yeah, that's
Could
it
you
gives me a Casey
please
Stoner.
could you translate what look at the smooth means to the average person? Because
Like
I
the
have no idea
smooth
what that
bits
means.
in between the polyps, like the skin.
Oh,
Just no. Look at that. Oh,
no,
God,
no. Just don't ever make that noise again.
I know. Sorry. And the fluffy polyps. Just man. Love that coral. Let's see how the yes, it is going well. 71%. Thank God for that. I'm not a complete weirdo. Well, I might be, but I'm not alone, which is the main thing. Okay, right. Well, in which case, I think that brings us onto the news, right? I've not missed anything.
Nope.
Yeah,
we're all good.
Good. Let's go. I'll be honest with you, Ryan. There's minimal news this week.
It's all right. We can, we can like draw it out.
I'll hold that thought.
Okay.
So there's literally only one thing in the news, but it is a good thing though. So, Remy from previously of Bahama Llama Coral.
There's two things in news thing because I got something for you as well.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So do you know this news?
No.
So Remy from Bahama Llama Coral, now of Brightwell Aquatics, works with Brightwell,
Okay.
has brought out a children's book.
Is he?
Yeah, Duncan's Reef Rescue. It's about a scuba diving llama, of course.
Yeah.
And let me read the little blurb about it. When Duncan the llama discovers his island reef covered in litter, he sets out to clean it up with help from his fishy friend Sammy, the emperor angelfish. Along the way, Duncan learns fascinating scientific names of corals, faces a grumpy wrasse named Ralph, and discovers how every creature has a role in keeping the reef alive. Which sounds a little bit like your game.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, but I feel like the game might take longer to make than the book.
Yeah. Ooh, burn.
No,
and this
you know what I mean.
Did you hear that, Remy?
He's
but,
not listening.
No. Well, he might be. But yeah, it's properly illustrated as well. He's got an illustrator, not just used AI. Thank you. Well done. But yeah, that's really cool. I love that. So if you've got a child who wants to be read a story to, you can buy him Duncan's Reef Rescue. I don't know if you can buy it in the UK. You must be able to. $19.99. This book is a great gift for youngsters in your life. You must be able to get this online.
Mrs. Reef to read it to you before bed. How do you go sleep?
That's actually a good idea. I'd be up for that. There's more news, Ryan. What's this other news?
It's to do with Hawaii. It's on Reef Builders where they're asking everyone to sign up to a thing to like a petition to say yes, this is good for the industry. We want to open up Hawaii again. So I felt like it's important that people know about this because we have a platform, and although it might be a pain in the ass to do for 5 minutes, it's worth doing if you want to have yellow tangs and Potter's Angels and Potter's Wrasse back. So it's up to you. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything.
I'll have a Potter's Wrasse if all I need to do is sign a thing. So here you go. There's a letter. supporthawaiifisheries.com/sign the letter. Let's see. Can I do this live now? Alex Brooksmith.
It's about to give all your bank details out.
Resident of Hawaii, non-company, additional comments. You know what? I'm going to come back to that because I'll put comments in. But there you go. So go on to the Reef Builders website, reefbuilders.com.
Yeah.
Click on the article US Aqua, alert. In fact, I'll post it in the chat. Although you probably won't be able to copy and paste it. But there you go. So go and sign that up.
I think that it's important because it's up to you. As I said, is it the main reason that Hawaii is important is not actually the fish that you can get hold of, because in reality, I think it's only bringing in like 12 or 11 fish. Only probably 3 of them are ones that we're like really excited about, like the yellow tangs, spotted wrasse, and I think potter's angel maybe. I'm not even sure that's 100% correct. It's about, and it was Brian at TMC who told me this. They said we cannot let Hawaii fall. So because what can happen, it can be a domino effect where one goes down, then all of a sudden Indonesia look at Hawaii and go, well, that was a good idea. We should do that as well. So it's 5 minutes of your time, and you should probably do it. So
and Hawaii is the most studied reef for this sort of thing in the world.
Yeah,
and it's just not a problem.
It's about protecting. It's about protecting the industry.
Yeah,
is what it is, because we are surprisingly fragile, is what I'll say. I think we are far more fragile than anyone realizes. And Brian is right that like if you could, there are all these different pillars that you need to hold up to keep this going, and Hawaii is absolutely one of them. So I think that it would be a sad day if they went, you can't get fish anymore from everywhere. And I think it'd be a sad day if they said, if you can't get coral anymore, as long as it's responsibly collected, if you see what I mean. Like if there's scientific reason, they go, look, you shouldn't do this because there are no yellow tangs left, then by all means, I'm fine with that. But that isn't the case with Hawaii. So
yeah. Yeah, the impact is basically nothing. Don't do it.
So
there you go.
That's it.
Okay, well there we go. That is the end of the news. I've been typing up my comment. I've not finished yet, but I'm just basically.
Ryan told me to send you a message.
No, but there is actually no good reason for the ban. I feel like it's the reasons that are being presented are a bit disingenuous.
Yeah.
And it's like the impact that the reef keeping hobby have is just non-existent, basically.
I feel like I take this personally as well, because
it's not fair.
The reason I take this personally is because someone who was pushing the ban is a guy called Snorkel Bob. And
Snorkel Bob.
He's a guy called Snorkel Bob. He's on YouTube. You can find him. And he was the person who created the documentary where he was like ban all collection of saltwater fish, and then I put the video out saying, well, those aren't saltwater fish, you've got some discus in there. Yeah. And then he replaced the video, so I feel like he knows who I am, and I feel like I know who he is. So we don't realize that there's this thing going on, but there's definitely a thing going on.
We need to put you two in a ring, and you get your biceps out and give them a good kicking.
So when the Hawaii ban eventually happened, I was like, oh no, I lost this round, but don't you worry, we're coming back. So
okay,
there you go.
Do you think we're going to politics? Do you think we're going to lose more reefers to rising energy costs because of the ongoing conflict and oil and energy prices? Well, hopefully that will resolve itself soon, and the costs will start coming back down again. But rising energy costs has been a thing for a while now. Cost of living has been a thing has been a thing for quite a while, and reef keeping is one of the things that is susceptible to that. If you've got everyone's less rich than they were 10 years ago, or not everyone, but most of us. And if you've got the choice of, am I going to put food on my table? Am I going to buy another motorbike, or am I going to buy another reef tank? You're going to choose food and the motorbike. So would you agree?
Maybe not the motorbike, but look, it is genuine. It's a genuine concern for me, and I'll be completely honest with you. We have been exposed to negative, like as you say, there's the cost of living has had a big negative impact, I think, on the industry for a while. And I sell coral, which is like the nichest possible thing. Like if you have to get rid of everything to survive, the very first thing that goes is I'm going to buy more coral, is the honest answer.
Yeah.
So I feel like I put a lot of eggs into a basket, which is quite fragile sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the truth. I think that what will probably happen is some of the maidenheads. The reason I say maidenheads is because some maidenheads are already thinking. Well, you see a lot of them have got rid of their marines because it's just not profitable for them. I think there'll be some shops that will go like, this is the thing that pushes us over the edge. I think there'll be some people that have a reef tank which are already like just barely keeping their reef tank. That this will push them over the edge. And I think if the hobby loses shops and it loses people, it is negative for the hobby as a whole. So yeah, I do think that it will be bad. However, it depends how long it lasts for. If it's over in the next 48 hours, like supposedly it could be, which I doubt it, but
but I mean, there's the whole Russia situation threatened to cause major problems, and there was a massive spike in oil prices. Petrol got to £2 a litre at one point after Russia invaded Ukraine, and that calmed down. So people find a way around it. The Iran situation is a bit more complicated because of the amount of oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. You can't move at the moment without seeing that sort of stuff. So it might take a bit more time. But I don't know. If it goes on for a long time, it's a problem. If it calms down again, then maybe it's okay. But when the cost of petrol goes up, everything goes up because you need petrol to move everything around. So
everything except wages. Just so when everything goes up, 100%.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. What bad piece grid?
Yeah, I agree.
There we go.
I think we can finish on that note. More bad piece grid.
I think we can all agree on that, actually. So there we go. All right. Well, thank you all for joining, guys. Next week we're going to be back. We are going to do the Tang one next week. So we'll be talking about the 7 worst Tangs. And Ryan, you've got a list.
You already know what I'm going to say. I might as well not even turn up. You already know.
I do. Okay. No, I was about to start running for this.
Do you not? Do you not know? Oh, I'll tell you in a minute. It's obvious what I'm going to say.
All right. Cheers, guys. Catch you next week.
See you later. Bye.